നമസ്കാരം. കേരള ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ ഫെസ്റ്റിവലിൽ എല്ലാവരും കാത്തിരിക്കുന്ന, ഒരുപോലെ ഉറ്റുനോക്കുന്ന സിനിമാറ്റിക് റിഫ്ലക്ഷൻസ് മെനി പേഴ്സ്പെക്റ്റീവ്സ് ഇൻ ഫിലിം മേക്കിംഗ് എന്ന ഈ സെഷനിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. മലയാളത്തിലൊരു സിനിമ മാത്രമേ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളൂ എങ്കിലും മലയാളികളുടെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട സംവിധായകരിൽ ഒരാളാണ് മണിരത്നം സർ. കരിയർ തുടങ്ങിയ കാലത്ത് 40 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് കോഴിക്കോട്ട് നിന്നുകൂടിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം തൻ്റെ ആദ്യ മലയാളം സിനിമ ചെയ്തത്. 40 വർഷങ്ങൾക്കിപ്പുറം തൊട്ടതൊക്കെ പൊന്നാക്കിയ ഒരു സംവിധായകനായി മാറി നമ്മളെ മുന്നിൽ സംവിധായകനായി തിരക്കഥാകൃത്തായി അദ്ദേഹം ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ എനിക്കറിയാം, എന്നെപ്പോലെ തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്കും ഒരുപാട് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടാകും. ശ്രീ മണി സാറിന്, ഞങ്ങളുടെയൊക്കെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ശ്രീ മണിരത്നത്തിന് സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ത്യയിലെ തന്നെ സിനിമാ ലോകത്ത് മാത്രമല്ല, രാഷ്ട്രീയ ലോകത്തും എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയുന്ന, എല്ലാവർക്കും പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട, ഒരുപക്ഷെ ചിലർക്ക് അത്ര പ്രിയപ്പെട്ടതല്ലാത്ത ശ്രീ പ്രകാശ് രാജിനെ, അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു നടനാണ്, സംവിധായകനാണ്, നിർമ്മാതാവാണ്, നാടക പ്രവർത്തകനാണ്. ഇങ്ങനെ പല രൂപങ്ങളിൽ നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ അറിയാം. പല രൂപങ്ങളിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ നമുക്കറിയാം. പ്രകാശ് രാജിനെ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കാൻ, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സിനിമയെ കേൾക്കാൻ, നാടകത്തെ കേൾക്കാൻ, രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തെ കേൾക്കാൻ നിങ്ങളെ എല്ലാവരെയും പോലെ ഞാനും കാത്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ശ്രീ പ്രകാശ് രാജിന് സ്വാഗതം. ആദ്യം ഞാൻ ഈ സെഷൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലായിരിക്കും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എനിക്കറിയാവുന്ന സ്വല്പം തമിഴൊക്കെ ഉപയോഗിക്കണമെന്ന് ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ട്, പക്ഷേ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലായിരിക്കും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിനുശേഷം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദിക്കാം, ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ ചോദിക്കാം, അവർ മറുപടി പറയും. സർ, I am remembering the time when you talked about working with Sri T. Damodaran. Even in the session today earlier, you talked about that. So, in this Calicut beach, when we start our discussion, let us go back to 40 years back. Let us rewind ourselves to 40 years back and to where it all started for you. You did Pallavi, Anupallavi before that. The second film was a Malayalam film, and you never did Malayalam movies after that. So we would like to hear more about that, your experience with Damodaran sir, and why you chose not to come back to Malayalam movies.
Good evening. I did not choose not to come back to Malayalam. Malayalam didn't take me. There are so many brilliant filmmakers here today that it is unbelievable. We are all very envious. I think fantastic growth in cinema in the entire Indian industry. I think Malayalam is the only place where it's growing. It's just amazing. I think the writing, I think the filmmaking, everything. I think probably, to have some literary festival like this over years and years kind of, reflects on cinema also. So I think, Tamil Nadu needs more literary festivals.
Sure, that's a very good ask. We would like to also see Tamil Nadu literature festivals. Anyway, so from that time to here, you have been consistently making movies. Also very contemporary movies you have been making. Contemporary movies in terms of theme. So, experiencing highs and lows in between probably. How do you think you have evolved as a filmmaker?
Sorry, how do you?
Think you have evolved as a filmmaker?
I think I'm evolving, not evolved. I think when I did my first film, I had no clue how to make a film. I just wanted to make a film, and I had written it, and I went, and I told myself that I'll learn everything in this one film, and then we'll show the whole world who I am. And I'm still there. I'm still learning. I'm still realize that each film is different. I did my first film in Kannada, and then I did Unaru in Malayalam with Damodaran Master. And so every film becomes a new film. Every film becomes your first film. You still don't know how to do it, and your search. And that search is probably the best thing, and I think that's what keeps you alive.
So your film always, I have noticed, balance between the artistic depth and the commercial value. How do you find that balance? Because in Malayalam, when we see movies, of course, there are movies where it is of artistic value, also of a commercial success. Tamil industry may be different, but still, always you manage to, capture that artistic depth, also making a huge commercial hit. How is that balance possible?
No, I think Malayalam film and Kannada film industry had this big fortune of having real serious cinema. I mean, there was Aravindan, there was Adur Gopalakrishnan, and the Padmarajan. They've been serious filmmakers who have established a standard. Similarly, in Kannada, there was Karanth, there was G.V. Iyer, there was Girish Kasaravelli. I know they set, Girish Karnad was there. So they set a path of serious cinema and the audience was there. In Tamil cinema, we didn't have that at all. We hardly had that genre. Anyone who was good were making commercial cinema. Within that commercial cinema, they were making sensible films, and that has been there for quite a while. Balchandar, Mahendran, Balu Mahendra, Bharati Raja, all of them have done, but they've all operated within the mainstream space. So that is the path that has been laid easily for us. And these days, the later filmmakers like me are a bit lazy. We walk on convenient paths.
Prakash Raj, sir. So, I want to talk to you about politics, but before that, I want to be talking about movies as well. So, do you categorize the filmmaking as before, lockdown and after lockdown? Because we have been consistently seeing many movies made for OTT platform, low budget movies, but which are really big in artistic values. Also, people are watching it a lot. So, do you think there is a, before COVID and after COVID in movie industry?
Hi, good evening, everyone. No, it's always there, no? Before television, after television, before internet, after internet, before COVID, after COVID. Because cinema is a river, it is a language, it is an expression. And whenever it was in Hollywood, it started, then you have the studios coming down. And from then on, the Indian independent filmmakers are fighting. So like a farmer growing something and a consumer buying something, there is a middleman of distributors, exhibitors. That has continued to come. So this is a new facet of it. But of course, now when people tell me pan-Indian cinema, I think audience are pan-Indian, it is not the film. Film has to have a content. Today, because of the COVID, because of the exposure, because of this mafia which stopped them, Tamil theatre now, you have to see Tamil films in this thing. Now, with COVID, they could see a Malayalam film, they could see a Korean film. And with the advent of OTT and COVID at the same time, they could see a film for 13 hours, 14 hours in a story. They could see many other stories in a story. Like long back when Balachandra sir, I asked him, why are you doing television serial? He said, I'm so happy that I can write whatever I want to. Instead of a 2-hour film, I can do a serial. So it keeps changing. It is something which we have to negotiate, fight, yeah.
Because you brought it up, I had that question in mind for mine, sir. So after this OTT platforms, after they have become huge, the series, long form series have become very popular. And we all watch that a lot. I have seen people who are totally busy with their work. While, I cannot say that now, but still, drivers driving their car, along with that, they're watching these series. So, have you ever thought of that platform, using that medium?
I struggle to do a 2-hour film. I really don't know how you can do an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour film. I think I'm amazed at it. I'm amazed at the writing that they're able to do and to be able to hold the interest and things like that. So let me first perfect this 2-hour thing a little more and then I'll think about it.
That's a good one. What do you think about that, sir? Should South Indian film industry particularly, we still see these series in Hindi or other languages, but South Indian industry, have they explored these long form series much?
They are trying. We have local series also coming up. That again differently, because I mean, as he said, it is the writing. You know, everything doesn't happen just because it is a format has come. It doesn't become a hit. You know, there is so much into it. So much has to be invested into it. Now you see, there's binge watching, and even that are becoming dark, and that's also becoming commercial. You know, you're not finding content or whatever into it. So it'll happen.
So, Mani sir, do you feel regional cinema is finally getting the recognition that it deserves in the global platform or in India?
Yeah, at least they've stopped calling everything Bollywood. You know, I think that's a big, big relief. I think the identity is there, and I honestly think Malayalam films is leading the way of making really superlative content, and that is, you know, traveling all over. And I think the rest of the region will have to follow, and that's the only way we can make a mark and not get classified into one pot.
So, as filmmakers, how do you, this is an extension of what I asked before, how do you balance your creative freedom and the commercial expectations?
I think I make films within the mainstream. I'm not pretending to be otherwise. I want to tell a story to a larger audience. I want it to reach, whatever I want to share, I want to share with people. So if I have to tell a story to a larger audience, you tell it in a language. If I'm telling a story, Prakash was saying today that he had a story narration for children. So when you tell it to children, you have to say it in a particular way. But he had a problem because the parents were also there. And he struggled to find out how is the balance to do. So it depends on whom you are addressing to. And therefore, you have to say it in such a way it's palatable. No point in going to an audience and speaking in Sanskrit. It won't reach at all. So you have to play a language which you want to do. But if you have that courage, if you have that belief to do a film purely for film's sake, then it's another thing. Then it's something which I love watching, but I don't have the courage to do as yet.
So something that I think many women want to say this to you, we admire you for, we love your movies, okay? So there is this absence of that male gaze in your movies, which we have all noticed. And so if you take a random movie, we always feel as women that, this is wrong. This is wrong, and we can pick and choose, especially with the current awareness, we can choose which one is wrong. And if your male characters, the absence of the male gaze in your movies. So have you thought through this? Have anyone talked to you about it?
No, only the previous session had a person asking me, how could you do Carterelli Day, which is, has a toxic relationship. So there are people who have, views on it, I'm sure that they will have, but as a filmmaker, what I'm trying to do is really reflect, what I'm seeing around me and share what gives me joy and share what gives me pain and angst. And I'm an optimist. I'm hopeful all the time. So somewhere that is what I try to bring across.
So your films, if you take the history of your films, like Roja, if you take Bombay, there are like themes that are controversial in those movies. I want to ask you two things about that. One, do you think you'll be able to make those movies in the current era? Two, those films also as a storyteller, we have always felt that, you are just a spectator. You don't tell anything. Like, you just tell the story. You don't come to a conclusion. Like, for example, end of Nayagan, like he says, Theriyadu. Which side are you in? Theriyadu. So, is it, do you really do that mindfully, or it is just your, view on films?
Yeah. To answer your first question, whether I can make a film like that, I can make. There's no problem. But whether they let it release, I don't know. That's a different thing. I can't have. It's not in my control. Second is, when I'm doing this film, these films that you're talking of, I don't think you want a filmmaker. I wouldn't want a filmmaker to tell me what is right, what is wrong. I don't want him to preach me. I'm an audience. I have got a mind of my own. I have intelligence. I can make out. You show what is there for you. Don't preach me. Don't tell me this is wrong, this is right. This is what I believed as a viewer. And therefore, when I'm making a film, I'm not trying to say that this is right, this is the way it should be. I'm just reflecting what is happening and the pain or the joy that it gives. And I know that I can share the same thing with a lot of people who will, identify with it or disagree with it, either way. So don't expect answers for all the, political and social problems from one filmmaker. He doesn't have the answers.
So, Prakash Raj sir, coming to that, should film be reflective of the society, or should films be a moral guide to the society? Like, the reason why I'm asking is glorification of toxic masculinity is happening across movies. And even glorification of fake nationalism is happening across movies. There are propaganda movies made in this decade more than any other previous decades, like for 3 or 4 decades if you compare. So do you think filmmakers have the responsibility towards society in that manner?
See, I don't agree art is for art's sake. Okay, I come from that school of thought. Okay. Now, for me, there's a self-censorship you have to do. You have to be responsible. Like when Mani sir says that I'm not preaching, but I like the politics in his, he is talking politics in his films, through relationships, through characterizations. But if you look at the 3 heroines of his, Sakhi or Mauna Ragam to OK Kanmani.
Yeah.
At that particular point, they're the same characters, a different thing. He is talking politics. But the point is, he is not like us, has to go up above this thing. He just does it and he leaves it there. He has got his integrity. That much of is there. This toxic mentality, the events which are making in the films, those keep coming. But how do you negotiate with it? But I believe, as an actor, as an artist, I have reason to be political. You have to be political. I don't believe in being apolitical about it. So he is not apolitical. He is political. He may not be speaking with the intensity you expect him to speak, but his politics is politics, my politics, politics. Without responsibility, you can't be an artist or a filmmaker.
So then we have these propaganda films, right?
Propaganda films they will do because every political party has had their own propagandas and they have lost it, the importance of it. Now these right-wing fellows are investing money in making propaganda films and they are not running.
But they're there, right?
They're not running. They're there. They will be there. Let it be there. So I'm not into banning films. Let it be documented that this was tried. Let it be documented. No. A biopic on Modi tried and he was a flop actor. Let it come. No. Kangana run out. Let it happen. Let it happen. There's nothing to ban. There are people. We will leave it to the society. Wounds we have to be chiseled. No. And everything should go to its logical end. Let it die. When it is dying, why do you want to be had? They will use, there's nothing surprising that they will pump in money because they believe they have bought actors, they have bought film houses, they have bought the media. Like Rajdeep Sardesai was telling just now. My channel might have sold, but I am not sold yet. That doesn't mean you're in the same market. So it's all there. He's also fighting and negotiating his own pressures. So these propaganda films will come. It is for us, I always say, no party, no opposition party wins an election. The ruling party loses an election. That is politics. And until and unless we realize that we are the majority, it is we who decide, it will keep happening. Change will come from here, not from them.
Yeah.
So it will keep happening.
With the applause that you have been getting, we can be hopeful, but at the same time...
I just give 1 or 2 lines because we are both angry. We just want an expression.
So, still, there I mean, this is more political, but there are instances that they have been changing textbooks, like history books, and they are making these movies, and these will all sit there as records. I am worried about a future where a new generation completely consumes to this idea of history that is presented to them, and these movies that are presented to them, and think that that is a reality. And we cannot ignore that it may happen, right?
See, they know the truth. If you don't know your history, you will never understand your present. And if you have never understood your present, you can't have the vision of the future. Recently, in a Times of India, there was this sketches of Mahatma Gandhi. They had an exhibition, and they had the audacity to write, in 1948, Gandhiji attended a communal harmony meeting, and few days later he passed away. So I said, hello, Times of India, he did not pass away. He was killed by the first terrorist of this country. This is how their narrative of history for the future generation. They will do it. Don't be surprised about it. But how many of us will continue to bell the cat? How many of us will continue to bell the cat? Is your resilience is what is important today.
Mani
As you
sir,
pursue it, that's all.
Mani sir, do you think it is also, in the current era, a filmmaker's responsibility to bell the cat, or do you think otherwise? I mean, do you think they need not do it? They can just do their stuff.
No. I think, if you're angry at what's happening, if you're angry at the way, it's going right, not only here, all over the world, that anger will come through in your film. If I do a film only for that, then I'm doing exactly what they're doing. I'm doing a propaganda for this side. But it should be from inside, from each of the characters, it should come through. The fact, if they reflect, if it's not the director that is saying, but if the character is feeling that, and if he's able to express it, then it becomes a lot more effective. Then it reaches a lot more people than one person saying this is what is right, this is what is wrong. I think it should be something which I am watching a film and that has a strong impact on me. Then I'm saying, yes, that's why I feel also. So I think the effectiveness will come when it is part of a narrative, part of our, sharing our emotion, sharing our opinions and things like that. And that is the way that I think cinema can help.
So how much of a positive role do you think that movies are playing to, defend what is there right now as our, as the system in this country, or to protect that? Or do you think they need to play a better role?
There is something called the censor board. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that is getting, harder and harder. They have two whips on their hands, and they're controlling. So how much of a intention is there with the filmmaker, we need to operate within that. It's like, but sometimes I think that will bring the best cinema. I think in Eastern Europe, when there was a lot of restriction, the best films came out. They found different ways of telling what they felt about the entire place. I think that's what art or literature can do. And you can't just rabble rouse. You have to find a way to beat the game. You have to find a way to give a narrative which you can collect a lot of people who will identify with it. And I think cinema can definitely do that.
Prakash Raj sir, I recently heard one of your interviews where you had mentioned you have hope in the new generation of filmmakers. You have hope in the coming generation of actors, especially when coming to women's safety in this film sets, and so on and so forth. So what is your hope for the next generation movie makers, wannabe movie makers who must be here?
What a generalized question. You just think, what is your hope?
Yeah.
That they'll be more sensitive. They are more sensitive, and they know the next 40 years of the kind of world, they are the ones who are going to live, and they're shaping it. And I'm really surprised and happy with the new generation of directors who are finding different subject, and also fantastic actors. Like, if you see a person like Fahad Fazil, or you see Vijay Sethupathi, and so many actors, Babu and all, they are not becoming stars, and they are letting themselves to be directed to different scripts wherein more stories are coming out. How they negotiate the power of their popularity into finding meaning for themselves and to these things. And I see that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And the way the people and the way the governments here, see, it's all aspects of the society has to work towards it. And I see that happening. They're more sensitive. And even with the women's safety, I think I love the way the women are coming out. And it is not male. I think yesterday Nazruddin Shah gave a beautiful answer. It is not feminine or male. It's being human. You know, being human. There's not a man or woman. Everybody has their right. And I'm seeing the way people are fighting and how they are ready to raise voices and pay the price for it. And I'm seeing them rich enough to pay the price. That is what I'm surprised about. It's not just that somebody was a Bhagat Singh or somebody who's ready to die, but they are rich within, and they realize that, and they're putting their foot down and saying, this is what we want. And that is giving me hope to the younger generation.
Yeah, I cannot help but mention Women in Cinema Collective at this point. They have been fighting for the safety of women inside the sets for last 5 years or so. But people like you who speak up, and there are people who are influencers in these film industries who do not speak. We think as women that they should also speak up so that the larger public will be influenced, the film fraternity will be influenced. But why does it happen that if their colleagues are raising an issue, there is this big silence?
I'm expecting them. I keep telling you this sentence. Tell them on their face. The future may forgive those who committed the sins, but will never forgive those who were silent. Okay? If they are silent, then they are also part of the perpetrators. We just cannot say, you have a voice. And you also, I understand the hurt, the anger, the anguish of wanting them to speak. If they don't, call spade a spade. But in spite of that, they are fighting. And me being open is nothing big about it. It should have been done. It's fine. Let's we who are doing it join together, come together, raise our voices stronger. Simple.
Mani sir, you must be watching the controversies also. So my question to you is, you are an experienced filmmaker, 4 decades in movies. So what do you think, how do you think can safety of women in film sets be ensured with your experience? How do you think it will change?
I think what is happening here has started the change already. I'm really amazed. I think these women who have fought and have voiced and stayed for so long are really the heroes. I think it is, I can't just say, why didn't somebody raise the voice at that time? Because you brought up people like that. Women have been brought up and they are pushed into a corner, and it is a male-dominated, industry. So for a woman to come out, speak, and stand strong over the years, I think that's fantastic. I think that is a start. And I think it has shaken up the industry. I think men are definitely, little scared. So I think it needs to be strong, and everyone who comes in now knows that they can say, they need not be quiet. Sometimes in our own productions, if there is an instance, they come up to us. They tell us somebody's, saying the wrong things. So we can pull them up and we can get them down. So it is happening. It is coming into practice. And I think women themselves are becoming stronger, trusting on that they have a huge support both with women and with men. And I think the changes are happening.
No, I think we should come back to your craft, sir, because before coming here, when my friends who are film directors who knew that I'm talking to you, they really wanted to know a few things from you. So they have also given me some questions to ask. Anyway, before going that, you have worked with some of the most iconic actors and technicians in Indian cinema. What do you look for in collaborators, and how do you nurture creativity in them?
I think I don't nurture, I extract. My job, I don't do anything. I get a good cinematographer, I get a good music director, good actor, then my job is easy. I think there's so much of talent, I think, all around us. And 100% it's a collaborative work. Filmmaking is collaborative. A film without a particular Irvar, without Prakash Raj will not be the same. It will be different. So every person adds value into the thing, and it is for us to get the best. My job is to get the best out of them as far as I can do. So it is not a question of me nurturing them and me just exploiting them and giving them space and sense of direction. I think we are all together telling stories, together telling life, and it is very important to have the whole team which is as committed or as passionate about it as you are.
I remember Suhasini once, saying in an interview about the shooting experience of Iruvar, where she says that that terrace scene where Prakash Raj sir leads Mohanlal too, and where he shows the cheering crowd, that she got that idea from one of her real life experiences with Chiranjeevi sir. So while you are the boss as a director, how much do you hear these ideas from your team, and how do you weave that into your movies?
Yeah, I think as filmmakers, we try to grab everything. Even the moment, like for example, when you're sitting here and that fan was blowing on your face, the hair was going, I'm thinking I should use it somewhere. So we are constantly looking. I know it's a second nature, and sometimes it's very scary, even for myself. There's something very serious that is happening. There's some really crisis that's happening, and still there's one part of your mind which is saying that will make a good scene.
That makes you ruthless.
Yeah, you're scared of yourself. I remember that there was a problem that I had at my house. Somebody threw a bomb at me, and when that bomb was thrown, it was there in front of me. And only bad words were coming, unfortunately. I was screaming and going down. But it exploded, but it was only this big, 1 foot. And I'm telling myself as I'm ducking, saying, in films we show, sorry for the language. In films we show this explosion so big, it's only this much. It's a crazy mindset. So yeah, we do use every element that comes, everything that an actor adds, a cinematographer acts, all of them find their way. It is up to you to choose what you want to and what you don't want to, but build on it or not build on it, subtract from it. But we do use everything. That is how, from paper, from where it is just written black and white, to convert it onto film is where the magic happens. It should become alive, and for that we need good actors and good technicians.
So how, as an actor, are you part of this team of idea generating, sir? Have you ever been part of that idea generating team, or have you always been a director's actor?
No, for me, I look at it very differently. Cinema is a painting, and I say I am one of the colors. And I would listen to what the director has to say, because I'm supposed to be one of the colors of his painting. And then I go with an empty cup, listen to him, and then probably I'll put in my versions or my perceptions. He takes it. But I like that at least that discussion. And if we don't come together, then I let him decide, because it's his film. But that is something. That's what he said. All of us, there is a space when we can give and we can take, and there is a discussion about it. When he directs us, he says, this is what I want. He doesn't act and show it. But he looks at, are you committed? Are you honest? And And if I'm very honest, even if I am wrong, if there is a honesty, he'll correct, I don't want this, I want this. Because finally, we all work to make that film happen. And I believe good actor comes out of the script. I don't go and, film is not written for me. I have a role and I have a chance to come out of it as a better actor. And it's not just the film. With few people like Mani sir, with Vetrimaran, with Krishna Vamshi, with Balachandar, or many directors I have worked with, I go there because I learn a lot from them. And there's something I take back home other than my tangible money. I have something, other payment which I take back. So it's a process for me. It's a process, it's a journey. And yeah.
As part of this process, have you ever, for example, I have heard that Mammootty sir, he has asked MT sir to do that Parshiraja role for him. So in one of his interviews, he has mentioned, usually MT Vasudevan Nair is a person who doesn't do that. He sticks to a script, and he writes script according to his liking. And this has happened. So have you, as an actor, ever felt that you want this director to do like this movie or write this script for me, because you are also a creative person?
To be very honest, no. Because for me, 10% is cinema and my profession, 90% there is a life. And I'm not desperate. Okay, I'm enjoying the process. If Mammootty sir had asked, probably it is his wish. He has liked that role. He wants to play that role. That's fine. I have nothing against it. But I have never... The films I produce myself, I have produced around 26 films. I did not produce to make me a hero or something like that. No. I wait for others to tell me a story. I wait directors to trust me with a story, trust me with a role, and I love that process. And me, otherwise I'll direct myself. But I have not been like that, and I don't know, it has not crossed my mind at all. It is not in myself at all to, with the money I can produce a film to say that I have to do that role, so I will ask somebody to write, I'll manage somebody to direct. I don't believe that is the process. I don't know.
No, I think I have a different take on what he's saying. The fact that you want to make a film, you want to tell a story, is there with him. That's why he's produced that much. Whether there's a role for him to play or not becomes incidental. The passion to make a film, which is what Mammootty also had, and is what Prakash has, and a lot of actors have. The passion to make a film which they think can connect, which they think can be made and be effective, is what drives all of us. And it's definitely is there for him.
I was answering this. As an actor, do you want to make a film on yourself as an actor?
Yeah. So now with the new technology being a revolution, the AI, we have seen some actors wanting to make their younger self, show their younger self in movies with their AI images. So that's a possibility these days. I don't know how much of that you would be open to explore, or will you ever explore as an actor, you, sir, and as a director, you?
I'll definitely explore. I think it's a way we are going forward. I think already we are using a lot of things in terms of all the VFX work is already incorporated. Already this de-aging is being done, so we are using it. But now it is at the threshold of an explosion.
Yes.
I mean, the AI, it's going to be, it's completely opening up the things, and we don't know where it's going to lead to. But the trust that the art of storytelling and telling it will not change. And so the elements that are adding to it to help you to tell a better story, to add, facilitate you to make it as honest as possible, is all welcome. I think we have to adopt to it, and we have to, completely take it in and use it to the best.
Sir.
Same pinch. I have same time.
Because the specific question was if you would be open to, portray your younger self as the AI character.
I am an actor. I don't want to portray the character demands, because I get films where, sir, recently Priya did a series. So she said, sir, you have to be 25, 50, 85. I said, 50, 85, I'm comfortable. 25, I can't. So you find another actor. If you want with my voice, I'll try to dub for him. So she thought. But if that helps for the character traits and things like that, the facial. If the film demands, it is their job. I have nothing to do. I have to do a little. That's at all. But to portray me younger, I'm so happy getting older.
Mani sir, you as a technician has always been very particular about, this is what I've heard from other filmmakers, about the using of light, the right light for the right scene. So with the expansion of this AI technology, you can just create that inside a studio. You don't have to wait for the daytime or the evening time to get one particular tone of light that you need. So how has this made the film making process easier? Are you have you totally navigated to this side on that term?
It's always been used. We always manipulate to make it look like it's not as though you can do an entire thing at a particular light, you know. So, but that is the tone if you're looking for, then you search for it and find. Now, what is happening is, you know, it is not just the light that matters. It is what can change with this AI is that it becomes a virtual production. You can be within a floor and you can shoot, you know, you can shoot on the moon, you know. So that is the change that is happening. Whether we as filmmakers will become comfortable, whether I will feel instead of shooting in an actual desert, I'll shoot inside the studio and make it look like a desert. Whether I'll be comfortable, whether the actors will be comfortable, we don't know. We'll have to go. Just like green screen came and we have slowly gotten used to it, this will also happen, and we have to find a way to use it to the best of our advantage.
Your films has is known for its music also, especially your collaborations with A.R. Rahman sir. So
what about Ilayaraja's performing? It's unfair, yeah. I've done 10 films with him.
And, no, I was particularly going to ask about that. So what's your what's the secret between that behind that collaboration? Two, have you ever explored the possibility of a Mani Ratnam movie without music? Like songs?
Like songs, without song. I always wanted to. I've always dreamt. In fact, we started Alai Praide without songs. Originally, we planned not to do songs, but then Rahman gives you these tunes and they are so seductive that you fall for them. So I think now the role of a song in a film has changed so much. It is not so important. It might be important to promote it. So you just have to adapt your, you know, method to it. Okay, I'll cut it short.
No, she was saying it's time for me to pass the mic over to audience. So, yeah, so much to ask, but still they will have a lot more to ask. So, audience, the stage is for you. And നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദിക്കാം. ഏത് ഭാഷയിലാണോ കംഫർട്ടബിൾ അതിൽ ചോദിക്കുക. മറുപടി പറയും.
I am here for 3 more days, here only. All your questions here. Okay, I am here. I am a Keralite now, so you can always talk to me.
ஹலோ சார், மணிரத்னம் சார் கிட்ட தான் கேட்கணும். சார், நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க பாலிவுட் இப்போது நம்பர் 1 இல்லை, அவங்க ரீஜனல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் அவங்க ரொம்ப அதிகமாக ரேட் பண்ணுறாங்க. பாலிவுட் இப்போ நம்பர் 1 இல்லை. அப்போது இதுக்கு நீங்களும் ஒரு வகையில் காரணமாக இருக்கீங்க. நீங்கள் தில்சே ஷாருக் கான் சாரை வச்சு பண்ணீங்க. அப்புறம் பாம்பே, ரோஜா, இதெல்லாம் பாலிவுட்டிலே ஹிட்டான சினிமாங்க. அப்போது அது நீங்கள் ஒரு பயனியராக எப்போவாவது நினச்சிருக்கீங்களா? நீங்கள் தான் இதுக்கு காரணமாக இருக்கீங்கன்னு அப்படின்னு நினச்சிங்களா சார்?
இல்லை, when you make a film, you're not trying to be the pioneer in anything. You just do it because the story for you to tell, and you think it will be, you know, if we made it in Dil Se in Hindi because it was happening in the northeast, and therefore it looked more right to do it in Hindi. That's the only reason. And you don't look at it, you just try to make the story that you want to make, and that will take you wherever you have to go.
Good evening, sir. Mani sir, my question goes to you. So yeah, I will just mention a small incident. Like my daughter, she's a toddler. She's now 5 years old. So she has been listening to music and peppy songs and all. And she had been listening to Chaya Chaya for quite from her from her at the time when she was born. So quite recently, when she was 5 years old, I showed her the visuals, the video, and she was all awestruck. She was watching it with her mouth open and without saying any word. She was glued to the screen. And even after the song was over, she stayed like that. And I had to shake her up. And I asked what happened. And she just asked me, Acha, how did that uncle and auntie dance on top of a train? Like, she has seen a train. She had traveled twice. And she has seen the train moving on the trails. But I didn't have an answer. Then I told, like, Mole, there is this uncle, a magician in Chennai called Ratnam uncle, who will do anything. So, can you just comment on how you did that to answer the question?
No, I'm glad she asked how did they do that instead of why did they do that. Why did they dance on top of a train? That is the danger. I'm so glad she asked only how. I think we had all the support that was there. We took all the safety measures and we had to actually scout all over India to find a track which was like that, which was, there is a restriction in terms of if you take a big broad gauge thing, the train gets curved and the narrow gauge has only this one. So we had to find one which was in the middle. And after searching all over, we found it in Kunur and Ooty, So that's how we did it. We did it with all the caution, all the care. Everyone was harnessed, every dancer except Shah Rukh Khan. He refused to take any safety precautions. That's the kind of person that he is.
Hi, sir. I'll start with a statement that is very popular in Instagram, and I think everyone will know. Women in Mani Ratnam movies. It's like, I'm not talking about the physical beauty, just the aura and how they are presented in movies. How do you do that?
No, there was a director in Tamil called Balachandar. Okay, I got into films only because of him, because I've seen his films. And he was the first person who opened my eye to show that there is a mind behind a film. That it's not just the actor, there's a director, and he kind of orchestrates the entire thing. And his films, all the women characters were probably twice as strong as they are in my films. Exponentially maybe. So I've grown up with admiring, liking, and I could identify with it because I've seen a lot of women around me who've all been very strong, very independent, and who had a mind of their own and did not hesitate to voice it. So that gets reflected.
Hello, sir. Sir, here. Your right side.
Yeah,
your right
okay.
side. Here.
Here. Okay. My right side. Okay.
So my wallpaper itself is your characters, and here it's written as I wish if my life was directed by Mani Ratnam. I'm a big fan of you, but sometimes I think my life is actually directed by Imtiaz Ali because of the struggles. But I actually wish if my future is directed by you. And my question is, almost all of my friends think Ganapati uncle from OK Kanmani as the perfect husband material. And I want to ask you, how did you narrate that character to Prakash Raj sir for the first time? That is my question. How did you narrate that character of Ganapati uncle to Prakash Raj sir? Thank you.
Prakash, it's fairly easy. From the first time that we have worked together, I just have to tell him, and he is able to adapt to it very easily, very, very easily. I don't know how he does it, but I think that's what a good actor brings in, they're able to move into that zone. I just told him the story and I told him the character and how the arc takes place. And he was there inside the role already, and it was just in front of our eyes when every scene was there for him to do. So Prakash, did I say it any
No,
differently?
it's just because he tells what he wants to say through the film with the characters so beautifully and so honestly. And you realize this is what you have to do. And there is one thing with Mani sir is, he says it's very easy for me. We are all very afraid. He's like, if somebody goes out to the caravan, he says, how can you leave my scene? And if we do something, he'll just give one look, you too, Brutus. Because he trusts you so much, you know. He trusts you so much. You can't fall in front of his eyes. You're there. And there is so much of honesty in the whole making of the film. And I don't look at it as Ganapati. I look at it what he's telling. What is the film? As I said, the painting works because so that way it's very easy. The way he feeds you with what he wants, and then he gives you a freedom for you to bring something on the table. If you don't, he will tell you what to do. And if you do, he is very happy. And that's a very trust which happens between both of us. Yeah, thank you.
Sir. Sir, here. I watched you past 3 years or 2 years, and I every time watch your movies when the first show. Can I speak in Malayalam? Okay. നമ്മുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ മലയാളം ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ഓർ തമിഴ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ഏതും ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, when you work with a new producer or new director, what type of modification you will script narration or photography? There is every Mani Ratnam magic. ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും സിനിമ തിയേറ്ററിൽ പോകുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് ഡയറക്റ്റഡ് ബൈ Mani Ratnam. That is a caption everywhere. So what type of modification, or did you alter any type of your techniques to new type of cinema or any?
Yeah, I have the big advantage of not having to convince a producer because I produce my own films. I found it easier that I don't have to convince somebody about it. And regarding the making, I think I get the best people to work with me. You know, I really do that. And we become a team. I cannot create a visual magic without say Santosh Shivan being there, or PC Sriram being there, or Rajiv Menon being there, Ravi K. Chandran. They are all brilliant. So I just get them and then get them onto board very early. When I have an idea for a film, the first person I talk to was probably my editor and my cinematographer. So they all become a part of the entire narrative. And I try to talk to the actors very early so that it is easy for us to travel the entire thing. Because this journey has many ups and downs in the making of one film. There'll be enough problems. So it's good to have a team which is good and which is focused on trying to get something. And last thing that I would say is that sometimes you don't know what you want to get. You know, you're looking for that magic. You know, you're searching for it. You may get it, may not get it, but it has to elevate on the spot. From being what you've written on a table should come alive, should become, you know, something which is tangible, which is magical, and the actors help, the light helps, the sound helps. You use all that to your advantage.
Hello, sir. Greetings, sir. I am very happy that I might blabber. Sir,
I'll also do that.
sir, in all your movies, there is romance and politics, like wings, like an eagle. You are like an eagle. So that is more of the youthhood. Like, I think you are more youthful than any of us here. So, like,
They call me an uncle.
but sir, really, like, politics in all, like, in different spectrums, from friendship till, like, in Iruvar, like, both of you are here. I want to talk about that. And all the movies, like Ravan, like, these are movies that ahead of time. Like, I was, and Prakash Raj sir is a great artist that I really loved his acting, that I was very scared whenever I see Gilly, Muthupandi, when he comes, Stella, I am really scared. That kind of. So I have two questions, sir. One to Mani Ratnam, sir. So what's the book that dug deep in your heart? Like, what literature that you like the most? Which story or any book? And second thing to Prakash Raj, sir. So when you see yourself in screen, what you think about yourself, what you talk with yourself?
Mani sir.
I think literature and books wise, it's not one, it's a continuous growing process. You know, I mean, you get influenced by something and then you reach more and then you reach more. So each one, you know, becomes a very strong motivation for you and doesn't stop, it continues. And there have been some good literature in Tamil also. So it's all been, you know, all influential. Not only literature, but also music, also painting, also, you know, films. All of that influence you. Theater, you know, it's a huge influence on all of us. So that is what we come out of. Prakash.
If I am very good in a film, I am surprised. If I am bad, I am little ashamed. That's all.
Sir, ഞാൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ ഐ എം എ ബിഗ് ഫാൻ ഓഫ് മണി സാർ ആൻഡ് പ്രകാശ് രാജ് സാർ. ആൻഡ് എനിക്ക് അവിടുന്ന് ഈ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, സാധിച്ചില്ല. എല്ലാവരും എല്ലാ സിനിമകളെയും പറ്റി സംസാരിച്ചു, പക്ഷേ എനിക്ക് പേഴ്സണലി ഒന്നും കൂടി ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട സിനിമ ചെക്കച്ചീവന്തമാനമാണ്. ഒരു പക്ഷേ അതിനെപ്പറ്റി ആരും ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞു കേട്ടില്ല എന്നുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാൻ എത്ര നേരം ഇവിടെ വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. ആക്ച്വലി അതിലെ ഇൻ്റർവെൽ ബ്ലോക്കിൽ സേനാപതിയുടെ ഡെത്ത് സീൻ കാണിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ദർ ഇസ് എ ഷോട്ട്, അതായത് വരദൻ വന്നിട്ട് എല്ലാവരും കെട്ടിപ്പിടിച്ച് കരയുന്ന ഒരു സീനിൽ ആ ക്യാമറ മുകളിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ ബാക്കിൽ കുറച്ച് പില്ലോസ് ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സീൻ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് അതിൽ ആ ഒരു വീണ് കിടക്കുന്ന പില്ലോ ലൈക്ക് ഇറ്റ്സ് സേനാപതി, ആൻഡ് ബാക്കിലിരിക്കുന്ന പില്ലോ ഇറ്റ്സ് വരദൻ, ആൻഡ് സൈഡിലിരിക്കുന്ന പില്ലോസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ഹിസ് സ്കാറ്റേഡ് ഫാമിലി എന്ന രീതിയിലൊരു കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് മെറ്റഫറിക് ഒരു ഫീൽ എനിക്കത് കണ്ടപ്പോൾ, ഐ മീൻ ഫ്രം മൈ സെക്കൻഡ് വാച്ച് എനിക്കത് ഫീൽ ചെയ്തു. സോ മൈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഈസ്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സീന് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ആ ഒരു ഷോട്ട് കൺസീവ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിച്ചത്? ആൻഡ് ഹൗ യു ഫെൽറ്റ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ഡൂയിങ് ദാറ്റ് സീൻ? Prakash Raj sir.
Sometimes it is only instinct and the fact that what you've written continues when you're making the film. So you're still writing it as your, you know, in a different medium, you know, from pen, from computer to the camera and to the actor. So you continuously find ways, search for ways to find something, you know. So it is a lot of elements that are there, and the fact that I don't go to a set with definite ideas of how an actor should be, how this should be. I have a rough idea. I want the actor to invest some of himself into the character. I don't want him to do exactly what I say. If he does sometimes complete opposite, but if it's good, I'm okay with it. I'm actually wishing that it'll happen. So what happens there on the spot is really, you know, extension of the writing, you know. And Prakash, how did you feel about dying?
No, what I'm saying is, I like this thing about Mani sir, you know, the extensive process he goes through, you know. For him, execution, I think, is easier for him than writing. He invests so much of time with the cinematographers, the art directors. So as an actor, he need not explain me, but when I go to the set, I know, like with so many crafts, he's telling the same story. With the actor, with the writing, with his editing, with his lighting, with his sets, with his positioning, because he's using multiple layers to tell a story. And I know it is not only me. And I love it when he comes close up to me. That means, oh my God, he trusts me that I can tell the story with only this. I love his close-ups when it comes, you know. And that is the process, you know. And like when I die in the film also, he wanted me to fall down, and I realized that there was a shot where I had to fall down and he had to go to that empty throne. So I enjoy his making, and he surprises me, and I don't ask him where did he get it, but I see the process, and he's so open with his process. So it's so nice to work with somebody who's worked like that, you know. For example, with Vetrimaran, people like that, like I just go blindly because he's searching something himself. And if I get something, the jackpot, otherwise I learn something. The different directors we work with something. With Mani sir also similarly, you know. In this thing, he wanted me to have all those needles in PS2, PS1. And he waited, he turned. It was so beautiful to see on screen. So working with him or seeing him, watching him for so many years, I can see where he's going. And such a joy to be with a person who has done so much of work and process. And to be one of the elements of mind, many elements you use to tell a film, no? I like it.
Good evening, sir. Manirathan, sir. Prakash, sir. Actually, I don't have any question to ask. I just want to register this moment in my life. I just interacted with the Ratnam of Indian cinema. I just want to register this thing. I just want to register this thing. And a question, I have a dream that SRK, Maniratnam, A.R. Rahman movie. Is there any chance, sir?
I have no idea.
Okay, sir.
Love you, Chalam. Thank you.
We are all as starstruck as he is. So the same thing I want to say in the end, because we don't have any more time for more questions. So I also want to register this moment. And it was a great pleasure to sit with you both and share stage with you. It's a privilege. Thank you both of you for answering all our questions patiently.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, speakers, for a
Thank
wonderful session.
you.